But this won't be a very long live. It'll be 10 minutes. So I'm on my way to Pilates. So let me just drink my drink. It's a travel question, but you don't have to have traveled much to answer the question. Something I'm curious about what people think. So you guys know that I'm going to Africa in under a month. In a month, actually in a month. Ooh, some water. Okay, ready? Gotta ring out Debbie Sue. Bring, 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 bring. And there's Debbie Sue. Hey, Debbie Sue. And Debbie Sue would say, actually, Dora would say, what would Dora say? She'd say, shake your booty, shake your booty, shake, 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 shake. But Debbie Sue would say, there's a delay in this. She would say, shake it up, baby, now twist and shout, twist and shout, twist, twist and shout. I think that is, oh my gosh, it's Philip. Hey, Philip, how you going? Guys, you know that I can't see the chat very well. Okay. I have to, oh, hold on, guys, give a second. Oh, okay, this is not going to be good. Oh, yeah, oh, hold on. Let me just put you in here. Okay, I'm driving, so I can't see the chat. So, guys, I have a question, okay? I'm just brainstorming, okay? And I have a question, it's not even an idea, okay? Safety, okay? Safety first when always got to think of safety. Now, I think of myself as quite well traveled, but Africa's a different beast, right? I've never been to Africa. And if you've been to Africa, if you're watching this on the replay or live, maybe you can share a little bit more information. But this is not just for people that have traveled. It's just a thought, okay? Sorry, just bear with me while I drive. So, a friend of mine sent me a message and said, hey, look, I know you're well traveled, Dora, but Africa's different. She goes, I've been to Africa twice. And she said, both times, it's different. She goes, people look at you like you have more money. And the fact that you are even in their country, you have more money, right? You might not be a billionaire, millionaire, whatever, I'm just your middle class normal person, right? I'm normal, right? What is normal? Okay, but yeah, I'm normal, right? I don't have a shitload of money, but I prioritize, right? Some people prioritize buying a brand new car and, a fancy car every couple of years. The car that I have, I bought brand new. And the car before that, I had for like 22 years. So I am a complete, I travel on the shoestring. I make it stretch, right? And I make things work because I don't get my nails done. I don't get I don't get a fancy hairdresser. I box dye my roots, right? But anyway, the point is, my friend said to me, she goes, look, Africa is different, okay? You have to be careful. I know you traveled, Nora, but, you have to be, smart. The usual things apply, don't wear your Rolex watch, which I don't have. Don't have flashy jewelry, which I don't have. And she said, look, I know you love holding your phone up and taking videos and stuff. She goes, you will do that, okay? But just be careful, she goes, because, people will see you as a target. You are white-ish, I don't know if I'm yellow, white, I don't know, whatever I am. But I'm not African, right? So I stand out. So she said, look, you will be a target. And the fact that, you do want to take videos and, you will want to film something, even if it's on a camera or on your phone, again, people will look at that and go, oh, I love a camera. It might not be an expensive camera, but again, it's better than the camera these people have, right? I'm not saying that African people are any more dodgy than any other people around the world, even in Australia, right? You can, hold your phone out filming something in Brisbane City. and someone could literally drive by and grab your phone. Okay, it can happen anywhere. Okay, so I'm not just saying that Africa's, you know, high alert or anything like that, but you know, there is a incredible shift in, it's not power, it's not power, that's not the way I'm saying. It's, you know, of like, you know, I'm spending money to go to their country, to see their country, right? And, you know, they can hardly put a roof over their head. Like, the different in, I guess, the countries I live in, like I live in Australia, first world country. Africa is classed as a third world country, different areas of Africa, obviously. But like, for example, you know, Uganda, where I'm going to, you know, a lot of poverty. So anyway, a friend said, look, just hear me out before you poo-poo the idea. She said, I would suggest, and she goes, this is what we did when we went to Africa. We had a bit of money as like money that you will give away to someone. She said, because if someone holds you up, like, you know, if I get somehow held up or cornered somehow, she said, you know, obviously it goes without saying, you give them all your tech, right? Give them everything you have. Give them the whole backpack, whatever. They want your, you know, your stinky lunch. Take the stinky lunch and all my, you know, tech, right? Obviously, don't fight anyone for your tech. Give it to them, right? Who cares if you just saw the Uganda, you know, you saw the gorillas and you're losing the footage? Just get rid of it, right? Your safety is more than anything, right? But there's another level. They might say, you know, they might try to, you know, get money off your like they might try to check your body, right? Because some people put money on their body. So hopefully my mum doesn't watch this. If my mum watches this, she's going to completely go off the world, right? Off the world. She's already said to me, this is what mum does. She sews in little pockets in her underwear to put money. I'm not doing that, okay? But the friend said, just carry, you know, $400 US, just $300 US, whatever you want to carry, right? That you can afford to lose if it has to, well, not lose, give away to save your life, right? So basically, if someone comes at you, they're saying, give them all your tech. And if they say, right, you know, give us the money. And, you know, I don't generally carry a lot of money with me when I travel. So, you know, they're going to be frustrated if they get $20 off me, okay? So they might actually end up hurting me, right? So if you say, hey, I've got $300 US, take it, you chuck it at them, and then you run the other way. Because obviously they're going to pick it up off the ground, right? So that gives them time. It gives you time to get away. It sounds very dramatic. I've never thought like this ever in my life, okay? I think in ways it's kind of a negative to think like that. But I'm asking the question, right? Do you think that's too much? Like, you know, look, 300, $400 US in the scale of life, it's not wonderful, right? I'm going to say it's not wonderful to lose that, but it's to save your life, right? So if I can afford to travel, it's like one of those things, if you can afford to travel, you have to get travel insurance, right? So I think, is this the same kind of thing? I've never thought like this before. Anyway, that's my question, guys. I have to go. I've just parked at my Pilates class. And I've got to go. So I will read the comments later on. Actually, give me if you can put the comment after this video, because the chat doesn't come for 24 hours. So if you can put a comment after this live stream, which I'm about to finish now, what you think, because it's kind of a negative way of thinking. I don't really like that idea. I kind of hope for the you know, the best out of every situation. But yeah, I'd just like to know what you think. I have been to, like, you know, South America. You know, they say that about Rio. Rio's really bad, but no one ever kind of told me about that idea. I never did that, and nothing happened, right? Touch wood. But anyway, leave that with you. I'm going, but if you can put it in the comments, I'd love to know. Okay, see you guys. Bye.